unity forever, for the union makes us strong.
Tunaanza mgomo leo usiku, kutoka saa 6 usiku. Hatutakuwa tunaomba tuhudumie wagonjwa wa kulazwa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba hivi, tafadhali ukiwa na mgonjwa pale Moi Hospital ama katika hospitali zetu za kulaza wagonjwa, tunaomba radhi kwamba tunakuomba utoe mgonjwa wako pale hadi tutakaposikizana, hadi tutakaporudi kazini. Itakuwa ni makosa kumwacha mgonjwa pale. Tafadhali mchukue mgonjwa kumpeleka katika hospitali yoyote ambayo iko hapa katika county ambayo anaweza kupata huduma. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio ombi langu katika wananchi wa Taita Taveta, kwamba tafadhali mgomo huko, mgomo hadi tutakapolipwa, hadi yule mtu wa mwisho atakapolipwa ile pesa zake, ndio tutakaporudi kazini.
Kumekuwa na hizi transfers ambazo hazieleweki. Kila uchao watu wanapewa uhamisho kwenda sehemu hii, mara kurudi sehemu hii. Hiyo ili destabilize, ilifanya kazi haifanyiki. Kwa sababu umekaa hapa, umepanga mikakati yako ya kufanya kazi, kesho unajikuta uko kwenye uhamisho, unapelekwa sehemu ambayo hujajipanga kuwa. Hujakaa vizuri, baada ya wiki mbili, miezi miwili, tena umerudishwa kwengine. Sasa hilo limedestabilize. Mbali na hivyo, kumekuwa na upungufu wa vyombo vya kufanyia kazi. Madawa hakuna, tools hakuna.
Hata tukimaliza huu, wajue kuna notice nyingine inawafuata, maana kuna interviews zimefanywa na mpaka sasa hakuna barua wala matokeo yamefikia wauguzi wamefanya hizo interviews kuambiwa kwamba kupanda daraja kwao kutakuwa mwaka gani. Kwa hivyo tunawachukua muda huu bado kuwapatia ilani kwamba wakichelewa na hili wajue kwamba kuna notice inakuja tena. So ni muda wa kutosha kwao, wakimbie mbio, wamalizane na mambo hayo, barua za promotion zitoke haraka iwezekanavyo, na wauguzi waendelee kulipwa kwa kubadilishiwa daraja zao kulingana na vile muda wamengojea, maana muda umepita mrefu sana.
Now let's cross over to the office of Labour Cabinet Secretary Kuria Tanu, is currently addressing members of the press when it comes to that nurses strike. Let's listen in live.
Our meeting today is to launch this conciliation committee. The issues of contentions are well known to the parties. And on appointment of a conciliation committee by the Cabinet Secretary Labour, parties in conflict, they have no choice but to obey the conditions as per the law of this country, the national labor laws. We'd expect them to seize the opportunity to air their views and, put the matters on the table so that they can be discussed and appropriate recommendations are made, which are going to file in court at a later time. So, before I introduce the committee, I want to know if the parties to the disputes are present. Do we have representatives of the Council of Governors? Who can you introduce your team?
My name is Meshach Ndolo from the Council of Governors. I'm accompanied by my colleague Cheryl. We expect CECs for help. They're on the way.
Minister of Health, I know I see the Principal Secretary, Minister of Health, Dr. Toom, and most welcome.
Thank you.
Do you have any other party, any other representative from Health? PS, are you alone or you came with a...
Chair, thank you very much. Like you said, my name is Peter Toom, Principal Secretary, Ministry of Health. My team that have accompanied me have the Director of HR, Catherine, the representative of the Director of Medical Services, Dr. Wamai, and that is the group, and the Chief Finance Officer from my ministry.
I think we're also here with labor officers of this ministry who will be forming the bulk of the conciliation secretariat. Kiruga, you start and then introduce the rest of the team.
Yeah, thank you, Bonasius. My name is Isaiah Kirigwa, Acting Labor Commissioner, and I'm accompanied by Mr. Geoffrey Omondi, who's the Chief Industrial Relations Officer in the ministry. We have Mrs. Elizabeth Onuko, Deputy Labor Commissioner at the headquarters. And we also have Helena Pio, who is also Deputy Labor Commissioner, International Affairs. I think that's the team we have from the Ministry of Health. So, Chris.
Do you have any other party present?
I think we have Chris Hooker. Chris Hooker, the technical personal assistant to the CS. We have Zara, the PA to the Cabinet Secretary. And that's the team.
Do we have a representative of the union, the Kenya National Union of Nurses? Are they represented in this meeting?
I understand they are in the boardroom. They didn't want to appear before the press, but they are in the boardroom awaiting the meeting.
So we register that the parties are here, except the workers, the officials who represent the workers in this matter. So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the team that we appointed. We have the chair, who is Aaron Maura. Aaron Maura has been a member of the National Labor Board. He is in private practice and is a renowned, practitioner in labor matters, well versed with issues in the labor relations, particularly for the public sector. We also have one of the members, Moses Ombok. Moses Ombok represents the Federation of Kenya Employers. These are representatives of our social partners that we work with on development on policies, that we also work with on issues of labor relations. One of the members is yet to join us, Benson Okwaro, who is a Deputy Secretary General of COTU. I think will be joining us in the next few minutes. So I want to welcome you once again. I wish to reiterate the importance of this committee. It's provided for in the Labor Relations Act in situations where the Cabinet Secretary in charge of labor matters feels that a notice of strike has been given and the issues at hand are in public interest and in enormous public interest for this matter. He is empowered by law to appoint a committee or a conciliator, either a conciliation committee or a conciliator to sit between the parties, look at the issues at hand so that the matters can be processed for the full benefit of the parties in dispute, but also have a direct bearing on the public. And for this matter, the strike notice given by the Kenya National Union of Nurses will directly affect this country. And coming particularly at a time when we are in the implementation phase of the universal health coverage, is not desirous for the general public in any way. I have appointed this committee. I have full confidence in the ability to execute this, and I want to request the parties before this committee to cooperate and to give them the views in a transparent and open manner. Because the matter at hand, the welfare and the lives of the people of this country should be supreme. We don't operate in isolation, we operate within the bigger society. If people are dying in hospitals, if they are going without services, and some of them are your own relatives, your own family members, your own children. I beseech you to put the interests of the people of this country in the core of the discussion that you're going to have. And I also want to reiterate that, it's important for the parties to understand that it is mandatory for the parties to cooperate. It's mandatory for particularly the union that have given notice to not to undertake the strike. You are expected to cease the industrial action and submit before the committee, process the matter with a view of getting solution. But if the parties are here and at the same time have appealed to their members to continue with the industrial action, that is in breach of the law, and they will be cited for contempt. And the other party they are at liberty to proceed to court and cite the strike illegal. And in that way is going to disadvantage the members of the union, because the employer can initiate disciplinary action against them, even withholding their salaries, at the same time even removing them from employment. I don't think that is the route that we want to go. So the parties that are not here, I'm appealing to them to make sure they take advantage and place their complaints before the committee, who I have no doubt, with the very many years of the professional undertaking, will look at the matters and recommend appropriately. On the part of the chairman and the committee members, we expect nothing short of professionalism. We expect impartiality in your undertakings, and more importantly, commitment to this process. It's a big honor, is a national duty that your government has called upon you to be a neutral arbiter to ensure the matters placed before you are processed professionally. All parties, we need cooperation. We need understanding on the set. We expect you to have open mind, because at the heart of the matters at hand is the public interest. We are very much alive to the enormous burden placed, the expectation placed on you, the committee. So we expect parties now to adhere to the timelines that we have given them. If you can even finish before the 30 days that I have deadline I have given you, it will be in the interest of this country. We expect not only, it may even be desirable for you to go to look at the broader perspective in such, process the matter, but also, nothing will stop you to recommend matters that will help the human resource aspect of the health sector. Because from time to time we also get issues that impede human resource development within the health sector. And health being a devolved function, we still have a challenge on issues of training, on issues of inter-county transfers. Maybe those are areas that maybe at a later time, as part of the annex, you can help the ministry concerned to give your views. So I want to thank you and expect that you will engage in a manner where the interests of the public will be the core of the business. I want to thank you, and I think you are now formally, inaugurated. We'll expect you now to plan your own programs. The parties will be asked to nominate equal number of, representatives, whether 5, whether more. It's up to you to discuss and agree. At the same time, you'll also be expected to plan your own programs and timelines on engagement. And by law, it's important that you understand procedurally that you'll be expected, the parties, to present their own memorandum of complaints, which we expect now from the union to tell us what are the issues, so that now they can be processed. And nothing will also stop you to invite parties who are not necessarily, before this committee. I know there are critical areas like the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, where issues of welfare, issues of salaries and other benefits in public sector, they play a critical part. Treasury is also an important, organization in this matter. I am sure you are going to have all the necessary space and latitude to engage and discuss and have, proposals from agencies of government and even beyond, who will be of, benefit, whose views will be of benefit to agreeing on appropriate recommendations. I want to thank you very much and ask PS if you have any issue that you want to mention. You are at liberty to do it. And then we'll also give you an opportunity to ask questions before, and I also later invite the chairman to take over the session.
Thank you very much, CS, for calling this meeting this morning. And thank you, everybody, for coming. I think, just like you've explained, it is very, very important that we dispense of this issue as fast as we can be able to do that. Because at the end of the day, as a ministry that is among the Big Four agenda, we want industrial harmony. That is the only way we can assure the public that we are giving them what the president has promised in this country. So in my view, this is the right way to go. This is what we've all agreed, that we want to listen to everybody else, so that, like you rightly indicated, nursing is not the only cadre that we have in the ministry. We also have clinical officers, we have the doctors themselves, we have everybody else. I think we might want to expand that scope, if not now, to ensure that everybody that is working to ensure that UHC rollout is kept on its feet is hard, and the solutions sought for the little problems that we have, particularly on HR issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any question?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Have raised concern as far as the constitution of the committee is concerned. They feel as though that the county governments are not represented in this meeting, and so whatever decision that will be made will not really trickle down to the counties. What's your response on that?
Foremost, I want you to understand that I have delegated the role of conciliation to a committee of three persons. Mr. Harun Maura, Moses Ombok, and Benson Okwaro. These are from the various labor social partners. And in the Act is very clear, in the Labor Relations Act, that is the way to go. So the parties that will be sitting and mediating the matter are these three people. They'll be heavily supported by a secretariat of this ministry. Well experienced labor officers who are here. But as to who are the parties in dispute, we know the counties are involved, we know the ministry is involved. And the counties, the Council of Governors will be a critical element in this. But as we told you, the county governments have appointed representatives who are on the way. And some of them are county executive committee members who are the umbrella body representing the CEC Health. They are on the way. My role is just to inaugurate the committee. The committee is going to process their own programs and timelines, and they're going to have further engagement on when they are ready to take off. I don't know if I've answered your question. You still have doubts, but I want to tell you that the employers in this matter are two. The Ministry of Health, who's represented by the PS. Because if you look at a number of health institutions are run by the national government. But the bulk of health services are provided by the county governments. The county governments have their own body called the Council of Governors. But the Council of Governors are not the employers. The employers are the respective county governments. And the county governments have nominated COG. At the same time, they have also represented a body of CEC members representing health. The subcommittee on health are going to be in this meeting, and they are going to be available maybe in the next 1 or 2 hours so that they can agree on the timelines and move forward. Yes?
There's also a strike notice last year, and they say it was not until first when we constituted this conciliation committee to share the talks. So, concerning the delays in responding to the strike notice, what took you so long?
Foremost, I want you to understand that as a Minister of Labor, we only come in at a time when we think the matter have not been sorted out between the two parties. If the two parties are not able to reach consensus, we deliberately gave them time to try to discuss on the issues, because the issues are really not rocket science. They are matters that within the ambit of both the employer and the employee to discuss, engage, negotiate, and agree. But when we realize that it was getting out of hand and they are not able to reach any agreement, we felt it is time now for the Minister of Labor to intervene and conciliate between the issues at hand, with a view of not only enriching but looking for a solution so that the public are not affected by withdrawal of their services. Thank you very much, and I think I'll give an opportunity to the chair, whom we have now asked him. Of course, going to take the matter seriously. We have a lot of expectation placed on him, and we hope he's going to prosecute his duties with commitment and the impartiality it deserves, but at the same time also to be extremely strict, because we need to move this process forward so that the members of the public are not negatively affected in whatever they are doing.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Bwana CS, and also CSM Health. This is more of a launch meeting. So Bwana CS, this was more of your meeting, and we are yet to begin the business of the committee, but we are going to begin the business of the committee soon after this meeting. And so I may not have a lot to tell you now, but I can give you an assurance that with the committee that I have, we will work tirelessly. We will work within the timelines. We will program our work so that we can be able to get the process going. Now, like I said, I can only give you the assurances for now, meaning that after this one we'll sit and do a mapping out of how we are going to go. And as far as your concerns about the representation is concerned, it is well taken. And I can assure you this committee cannot move without the representations of the parties that are involved. And like the CS has said, we have the mandate to consult as widely as possible on the basis of what is needed to get the information that will help us to come up with some options and narrow down to the option that can well address the problem that we've been having in this sector. So this is all I can say right now, and I'm delighted that we have a competent team, we have a competent secretariat, and this thing is doable. We will deliver within the prescribed time, Bwana CS. We have the interest interest of the public. We understand what's happening, we understand the environment, and we understand the people who are badly affected by the situation, and we want to address it as quickly as possible. Thank you very much.
Basi asanteni sana.
All right, that is Labour Cabinet Secretary Kuria Tani asking nurses to actually call off the strike and pave way for negotiations, because he says the government doesn't want to go the way of probably withdrawing their salary or even firing them. And Eldoret reporter Elvis Kosgei has managed to get a hold of the Kenya National Union of Nurses Secretary General, that is Seth Panyako. Elvis, good morning. And it would be interesting to know what response Panyako would want to give the CS, because when the CS says that nurses need to call off the strike, pave way for negotiations, because the ministry, they really don't want to go that way of firing nurses or withdrawing their salaries. What does Panyako have to say about some of these sentiments by the CS?
Thank you very much, Brenda. It's something that we are to establish from the Secretary General, Seth Panyako. But just to paint a picture of what has been happening in the North region is that already three counties have been affected. That is Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, and also Elgeyo Marakwet County. But joining me is Seth Panyako. Just to paint a picture, you've heard that the CS has said that it is a must for you guys to cooperate. It is a mandatory for the parties to end the industrial action. Maybe as the Secretary General of Canaan, what are your thoughts on that?
I think the cabinet secretary is the most incompetent cabinet secretary we've ever had in this country. He doesn't know what he's doing, and I think he's the first person, if the President Uhuru Kenyatta wants to get rid of cabinet secretaries who are not performing, Ikuri Atan should have gone like yesterday. We gave him a strike notice in November. A conciliator was appointed by his junior officers. He tore the conciliation letter in pieces, and he actually reprimanded the officer who had appointed the conciliation team and asked him, who gave you authority to appoint this conciliation team? How can he come on first, which is on Friday, and the strike is beginning on Monday, and say that people now should go on conciliation? Where has he been? Was this strike given a one-day strike notice? Was it one day? It was not one day. It was from 21 days up to 14 days. So Ikuri Atan has demonstrated his inability to run that ministry. He's very incompetent, and he should be fired. He must know that issues of workers cannot be militarized. If he thinks that by threatening and saying that he's going to take Panyako to prison, let him know that we will face him under any platform. If you're on the court, we are ready to go there. If he wants to arrest me, I'm not scared of being arrested. But unless the rights of the nurses of this country are respected, we are not going to tie. I will not look back. The strike has begun, and what is happening today is a tip of the iceberg. Let the week ends, and the remaining counties have not committed to pay, or they have not paid, and the whole country will plunge into strike, minus only 3 counties. That is Machakos, Migori, and Mombasa. Of course, I have Mandera that has committed to pay. I have Tharaka Nithi has committed to pay, and I have Vihiga that have committed to pay. Those 6 count governments might not experience any interruption of services. But I want to tell Ikuri Atan, he has no authority, he has no mandate. This is a protected strike. The Constitution of Kenya, Article 41, Clause 2, D says every worker has the right to go on strike, and we have followed the provision of the law. He is the one who refused to appoint a conciliation meeting in November, because he was actually fostering his own interest, because he has a relative whom he wants to become the chairman of this union.
But yes, he has requested for 30 days to look into that file.
How can Friday, one day, translate to 30 days? Did we give a one-day strike notice? That's what the president ought to ask Ikuri Atan. Did the nurses union give one day? Where was he for all these days from November up to now? We are saying we will want them to commit to pay the money. We don't want these jokes. We don't want these jokes that people are saying. Then they told us that we engage the county governments. We are now engaging county governments. We have given strike notices to all for the county governments which are supposed to go on strike, and will continue to issue until we complete the remaining county governments. So there is no conciliation in Nairobi. Conciliation must take place on the ground, because that's where the strike is, and that is what Jacqueline Mokeni told us. Jacqueline Mokeni wrote a letter and say, go and issue strike notices to all 47 county governments. And I have that letter here. I can even send you on WhatsApp. So what we are doing is clearly and properly protected within the law. We gave strike notice of more than 7 days, because we gave 21 days, others 14 days. The law requires 7 days. Honestly speaking, where was Ikuri Atan?
How many nurses have done their tool so far?
We have 11 county governments where nurses have town tools. I may not give you the numbers unless I get the exact numbers in all these county governments. But I can tell you for free, an average of 800 nurses per county. If there are 11, we are talking about 8,000 nurses. Yeah.
Maybe which services will be affected?
Of course, the nurses are the hospitals. No nurse, no hospital. The hospitals will close. And if you want to remember the strike that lasted 5 months. There were no services completely. So where there's no nurse, there can be no any other service that will go on. A doctor can't work without a nurse. So basically, and there's nobody else who can work without a doctor, without a nurse. If a nurse is not there, the doctor cannot function. If the doctor cannot function, nobody else can function in a hospital. So basically, there is no services that is going on in those hospitals. Doors have been closed, keys have been handed over to the management.
The only way out, do you have an option out of this strike?
There is only one option, pay. Pay and pay, period. Yeah.
Maybe niweze kusikia kutoka kwako hapa.
Majina yangu ni Beatrice Kariuki, Branch Secretary wa Uasin Gishu County. Tumetoka mkutano na County Secretary wetu, amesema atalipa. Tuende barua ya leo ya implementation ya kulipa. Lakini tunataka kuhakikishia yeye wasipotupatia barua ya kujikomiti watatulipa, hata sisi tunagoma. Sisi tofauti na wale wengine, lazima tufuate ile maneno tumewekewa na our members. Our members wanataka kujua kama wanalipwa ama hawalipwi. Wataki maneno mingi. Tunangoja barua leo from our County Secretary, Mr. Bet.
Yes. Thank you. I want to insist something. You've heard what she has said.
Yes.
Our members are the ones who want to be paid. So it is her members who are telling her, if we are not being paid, we want to go where? Out. So if I issue a strike notice for Uasin Gishu, it will not be Panyako, it will be her members, not even herself, it will be her members. So that's what I'm telling them. If they want to end the strike and they don't want to pay, let them engage our members directly on the ground. Yeah.
Panyako, I understand that the patients will be affected. Maybe, do you have a really permanent solution to this, maybe in future, so that we can avert this crisis in the near future?
Doctors have their CBA. From the time they had their CBA signed and filed in court and implemented, have you heard them saying they want to go on strike? So the only solution we have is for the government to accept that nurses play a crucial role in the healthcare system and complete our collective bargaining agreement so that these piecemeal agreements should not be there. So that nurses can feel they are respected and the work they do is recognized. Then we'll have about 4 to 5 years of peace without any industrial unrest within the public sector. And then, because the CBA will address most of the issues. In fact, not most, all the issues. The CBA lays down how disputes shall be resolved, payment for nurses, everything. So literally everything, working conditions, everything, work ratios, number of hours you're supposed to work. The CBA is the solution to this recurrent, useless, expensive strikes that are actually costing the lives of Kenyans. Yeah.
Lastly, acha nisikie kutoka kwako.
Kwa majina ni Francis Chepkwony. Chenye tunaweza sema ni kwamba kama Uasin Gishu tumesikizana kwamba wata-implement na chambo ile tu iko ni kwamba tunataka tu members wetu walipwe. Asante.
Okay. Thank you very much. Brenda, you've heard from Seth Panyako, the Secretary General of Canaan, of course, is defiant, and they will continue the strike. And as mentioned to you before, Elgeyo Marakwet County is affected, Trans Nzoia, and also West Pokot. Back to you, Brenda.
Elvis, I'm sure Seth Panyako is still there. Kindly get a hold of him because it would really be interesting to know whether they'll attend this meeting since they have a problem with the composition of the conciliation team. Will they attend the meeting?
Okay, Bwana Panyako, we just want to establish if you'll attend the meeting. I understand that you sent your representatives there.
Yeah, I am one of my representatives attending the meeting. She is attending or the behest of the union. I've given her authority. Remember, Agnes Munderu was part of the team that negotiated this agreement. So I'm properly represented. I have also directed my Deputy General Secretary to go to Nairobi for any eventuality. But our position is very clear as a union. We are not renegotiating anything.
Do you have a problem with the composition of the committee?
I have very serious problems because what is happening is what they have been playing with us, cat and mouse game. When we started negotiating the first deal we had in the CBA, was a very good deal. They refused to sign and implement. They said it was expensive. Then they said we reopen negotiation. You remember the strike that lasted for 5 months, 2017. Oh, 2017, yes. Then they said we renegotiate again. When we went for renegotiation, they brought again a new set of negotiators that was playing tricks with us. Those new set of negotiation could not succeed. So they dismantled that new set of negotiation. They brought again part of the team that was there in the beginning. And that team is the one that ended the stalemate, and we had this agreement we have. Today, as we are talking, they have again removed the chair who was chairing the meeting, that meeting. Now they have put somebody else there. They are again playing tricks so that somebody come and say, no, that was done by other people. Now as we want to renegotiate afresh, let me assure them there will be no renegotiation. What we want is implementation, period. Yeah.
Brenda, you've had full implementation of the return to work formula that Seth Panyako, the Secretary General of Canaan, and of course members of the branch here in Uasin Gishu County. Brenda?
Elvis Kosgei for getting a hold of Seth Panyako. We've heard from him responding to the Labour Cabinet Secretary Kuria Tani's sentiments. We'll see how that plays at the end of the day, whether they'll call off the strike or not. Thank you so much, Elvis Kosgei, our reporter from Eldoret. Now, to matters politics, your former Jubilee Party Vice Chair, that is David Murathe, was earlier this week, last week rather, the special guest